Um, so this is something I think that is interesting. I composed a track list for a project that I'm gonna work on. Mostly, I think this project is meaningful because um, I haven't actually heard anyone talk about it, and I think that other Black women should just be aware of it. So I made a project about it. Hold on a second, because I'm just gonna grab the track list. I don't think I put it on that one. Oh, I put it on this one. Okay. So, so the track list is called "Men from the Developing World." Um, this song is interesting. It's called "Dog Chasing a Car and Finally Catching It." Tribalism, marriage, children, failing economies, living in poverty, the degradation of women, power and violence, suburbs, housewives, telephones, three idiots, and the Walmart superstore. Um, for a while, I really wanted to make more content about this sort of like Americana thing, basically growing up in America and kind of like what it means. But then it's very hard because there's like a Black American experience, there's being a female experience, and there are just so few like autonomous Black women in the world, period, that I realized all of these different ways that I'm like an outlier. And so, so sometimes when I try to just have kind of normal social experiences, they're actually not normal because so many of the other people around me are like immigrants, and they just like in other parts of the world, it's not good being Black is just a miserable experience because colonialism and racism has just done awful things. And it really, like, there are really groups of people who believe in their heart of hearts that like the color of your skin is a determinant factor for your life chances, and they've built entire like systems around that. Like specifically in the Arabic community, like they actually have Ethiopian slaves right now. That's like a real experience that's happening right now. um, and then there's all these things. I think you guys should just think a little bit more about who your role models and mentors are. Because I definitely don't think that I'm perfect, but I can see flaws for what they are. And as a person who's definitely been a part of a marginalized group that's had to fight for survival and humanity, um, I think other people don't actually realize like what it's like to be on the receiving end of um, non-humanity. Like they don't know what it's like to be to receive disrespect and to have another person like look at them and feel like they are less than. It's a constant battle that like I don't feel like it's ever going to stop here, which is why like I just want to leave. Like I feel like I understand white racism enough to where I don't know what that is. It's like a circle in the middle. Yeah, so sorry. I feel like I understand white racism enough where I could live amongst white racists and just kind of like exist separately. Some of the problems that I do have though are when people see me doing that, they always have all of these questions. They're like, "Oh my god, there is a Black person who's here." So some of these ideas around Blackness, I would have to question them because I thought that Black people couldn't do XYZ, but now I see a Black person doing XYZ. So my worldview has to change. And I think that when people are talking about culture, and especially when Americans are calling the developing world developing, it's a lot of these like really I don't want to call them like tribal, but they're kind of ethnic counterculture beliefs, limiting beliefs in a lot of ways that give people these ideas about humanity and subhumanity, especially amongst women, because like women, my God, it's already hard being just an individual person, but being female and being degraded to an inhumane state is just, it's an unlivable situation. Um, there's something about like purity politics and this idea of, first of all, like someone being a literal prostitute, like a whore, like someone who's like walking down the street like selling pussy, and then other modern day girls who are just being kind of like slutty in the sense where they're like sleeping around, and men globally at this point, especially like hyper religious men in the developing world, are throwing those terms, they're using them synonymously to kind of really shit on women. And then they're like treating women in all of these ways. Like, sex politics is just, it's a lot. And I didn't think that it, like, I don't like to concern myself with issues that, like, I don't live in the developing world right now. I'm not saying I don't care about what happens there, but like, I mean, I care about what happens to me first, and I have to put like my own interests first, in the same way that you should. Um. Anyway, yeah. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot to unpack there, and I didn't think that this would be an issue that I would have to be familiar with or cover. But it's like I keep coming. It's like every single place I go. Like I told you guys when I was doing software engineering, the entire data engineering field is full of Indian men who are the worst. Like I can't even. They are the worst. Like they're just so awful. And I can't describe the Indian caste system. Like I really feel like the American immigration system should have like a quota where they like, I don't know. I feel like you'd have to take like an anti-racism class if you're Indian to come here, because the culture is actually so hateful and really violent, that, and they're all socialized in that way. That's what I'm like. They have actually never seen anything different. So it's not like they come here and they're like, oh, things are different. Like they come here and they're like just as awful as they were. It's just all so strange. Um, it's just all so strange.